Good morning, Fyce class. This is Thursday, September 10th. Today I'm going to walk you through the PowerPoint and the chapter real quick and then show you the assignment and explain what you should do with that. So we've started in chapter 3, understanding emotional intelligence. And again, you can kind of see some of the topics that'll be associated with emotional intelligence. And really the big term here is going to be the empathy term. So again, this is basically putting yourself in other people's situation and to be able to understand their situation. So that would be empathy, and that's going to be a word that is repeated throughout this chapter. All right, so just defining again what emotional intelligence is. It's the ability to identify, use, understand, and manage moods, feelings, and attitudes. And then allowing yourself to understand your emotions can enhance your own emotion. Going to consist of two general abilities. So again, understanding emotions and predicting how others might feel. So empathy, which we've just talked about, and then your ability to manage your emotions. Right, so you've got a couple of these your turn questions that I'll just allow you to go ahead and read and reflect on. And these pop up throughout a lot of these lectures. There's a little self quiz in the chapter itself. So if you've gone through the chapter, find it. It would be right on page 45 at the bottom. And really, what you can do is just go through it and answer either A, B, or C. And then there's an explanation at the bottom. You got to try to do the quiz without actually reading that bottom part. Just to be honest with yourself, you can kind of see where you fit in, what type of emotional intelligence you might have at this point, and maybe some things you need to work on. Again, little question here based on how you scored on that little questionnaire. All right, so starting on page 46, there's something they call about your ability to identify competencies, the Baron model of emotional intelligence. And really what you have here is you have four main categories for this model. So intrapersonal, so that's dealing again within your own self. Interpersonal skills, so that would be your ability to get along and make friendships with others. Your ability to adapt. A lot of what's going to happen in your adult life, things aren't always going to go as planned on the job, at home, in your personal life. And do you have the ability to adjust your thinking and behavior, again, when faced with new or unexpected situations? And then the last big competency would be stress management. Right? So how do you deal with stressors that will happen to anyone throughout their adult life? And the last one isn't a competency, but again, what is your general mood and effective performance? So looking at optimism and happiness throughout your life. And we have a long quote here. I'll let you go through it from Charles Swindoll. All right, so let's look at EI and how emotions affect your success. So emotions are strongly tied to physical and psychological well-being. And again, as you start to move into adulthood, um, how you are feeling about your own self and others, can affect your physical being as long as your own mental well-being. So some strong emotional intelligence also link to success at the next level, whatever it may be. Obviously for this course they're going to call it college, but having emotionally intelligent students typically get higher grades. They're more in tune with their own emotions and what they can and can't achieve, and they get after it. Students who can't manage emotions struggle academically. So again, if you are letting outside stressors get the best of your physical and mental well-being, can have an effect on how well you're doing in school. Students who delay gratification tend to do better overall. So again, um, not always just get after something because you want to do it. Sometimes you just need to use it as a goal and accomplish some tasks along the way before you're able to get out to see that movie you want to see, to go hang out with your friends. So whatever it is, uh, as long as you can get whatever task you need to get done first, and you're able to delay some of the fun stuff, that's what they're talking about here. Those students typically tend to do better overall. So really this chapter is about enhancing your EI, because ultimately the goal is for you to do well at what in the next level, whatever that may be. And again, that's one of the big points here in this seminar course. This is something we will come back to. You'll see this at some point in the near future, but think about this scenario. Describe yourself as a successful person 10 years after college. What kinds of skills will you have? Don't just focus on your degree or job description. Include the EI competencies that help explain why you have become successful. So we will do something soon about, what does your life look like in 10, 12 years? I think I actually have modified this to get you to think about what your life is going to look like when you're 30. So that's 12 to 13 years old, 12 to 13 years away for some of you. And what is it going to look like? What have you been able to learn, accomplish, set yourself up with over these next few years? And the last slide here is really some tips on how to improve your emotional intelligence. So developing EI is important towards getting the full benefit of college. Some suggestions to improve is really what the focus of this chapter is you have to identify where your strengths versus your weaknesses are. You have to be realistic. So, again, not everybody can be a doctor. You have to have a certain skill set. So you have to be realistic about, your abilities and how that translates to a career in the future. And then formulate your plan. Again, is it going to a 2 or 4 year college? Is it going to a trade school? What is it you want to hope to accomplish these next 4 to 6 years that'll set you up with a career that's challenging and hopefully profitable for you? And again, you want to be able to check your goals, not just writing out your goals, but checking and revising your goals and your progress on a regular basis. So again, really almost taking a mental inventory as you go through life. Right. So in the chapter, let's see, 1 and 2, so identifying the competencies. So under each of those 4 main bar-on model, the bar-on model of emotional intelligence, you had intrapersonal, interpersonal, stress management, and adaptability. And then if you scroll down, this starts on page 46, you have under Intrapersonal, you've got 5 different terms and what they mean. Uh, Interpersonal, same thing. You've got empathy, social responsibility, interpersonal relationships, and adaptability. And then the last one would be stress management. So you've got these different topics under each of your 4 main categories. So what you're going to hope to accomplish today is, here's the worksheet, and you're going to match the unsuccessful student behavior in the first column with the related EI competencies in the second column that would help the student change or overcome the behavior. There may be more than one competency related to a single behavior. For most of these, it's straightforward. If you're really looking through the chapter and looking at not even the chapter, but these 4 pages where you can find the competencies, the main heading, and then the different breakouts under it, you should be able to isolate. Most of you will probably gravitate towards one answer, but it is understandable if there's a strong number 2, or even in some cases a strong 3. But for most of these, they'll link up with 1. So basically all you do is open this in Kami. So you're going to look at experience stress and does not handle it well. So which one of these competencies would best match up with number 1 scenario? And you just write the letter next to it here. Don't do any of the line, because that just gets too nasty. So you can do it on the side, or just do it over here. All right, so just say if you chose E, so just do E. I have no idea if that's correct, but I'm just saying you can either write it on each side. All right, so take care of that. And again, if you got a free minute or you're eased up in some of your other classes, remember you have your essay that'll be due next week, Wednesday. If you have any further questions, please log in to the Google Meet today at 11. I will have that open at 11 for any questions related to this class. All right, thank you. Have a good day.